Hey everyone, this is Diane House. This is my Module 13 presentation on tort liability. And tort liability is a violation where one person causes damages, injury, or harm to another person that may result from intentional acts or acts of negligence. And so I think this is important for educators, as we know we can be held liable personally for things that happen while students are under our supervision. Oh, I can't get it. There we go. So here was one of mine, Mosley versus Portland Public School District. And this is an old case, but this was the result of a young lady who became involved in a fight with another student, and that student produced a box cutting knife and stabbed the first young lady and left permanent damage. And ultimately what ended up happening was that the plaintiff was not immune from liability since she was involved in a fight that resulted in that injury. She is responsible for her actions, and some things I can see happening immediately in our district if something like this happened would be, some probably quick and probably ineffective procedures would occur to check to make sure students didn't have any weapons, and also making sure our student leaders were helping keep us informed on the things they were hearing. Ultimately, though, I think the more proactive method would be to make sure lunchroom supervision was adequate, and also sometimes just providing a little more space or breaking up how many people are in the lunchtime could help that. Next was this case where a teacher had put their hands on a student and ultimately led to that student coming into contact with some equipment in the room. And what's interesting about this one is I can see right away there would be some policy of no contact with students at all, even, pats on the back or anything. But I think the more proactive approach would be to make sure your discipline and behavior management plans are adequate and in place, and that you're continually providing professional development for your teachers. In this one, goes back to supervision of students. I can see a reactive measure being to just hire people even if they're not the right fit for the district, where I think more proactive measures would be that clear communication of who's supervising, what the expectation of the supervisors are at all times, that we always have to have subs even if those supervisors can't make it. And for me, I just think that we can't over supervise, especially transition times. This was a student that was a victim of some sexual behavior, basically hazing or bullying. And I think it's important that we remember to train all our sponsors and coaches just like we do our teachers, and that code of conduct might go a long ways in making sure that we've spelled out what our expectations are of our student athletes and even our coaches too. Again, this one results in supervision of students, and that we need to make sure that our supervision is adequate. And I do think that it's reasonable to have a code of conduct or professional ethics. I think that's important for us to have some broad norms that we're abiding by, but I'm not into implementing real binding policies or things like no contact rules. I want our district to be protected, and I want our teachers to be protected, but I think that making sure that we're mentoring teachers, that we're taking care of our new and young professionals, that we're training our staff on self-care and all those types of things, and that we continue to have proper supervision will help alleviate a lot of potential troubles. Thanks for watching.